What's going on, world? It is your boy ETM Gamma, and I'm here with the lovely
Juju.
Today, we're going to be talking about a couple, as you can see by the title, Latoya and Vonrhe. Yeah, we got a lot to discuss. We're not just going to be covering the basics. As you can tell by the name of this channel, let's escape the Matrix. All right, guys, so we're going to get right into it. Latoya and Vonrhe.
Yes.
Vonrhe, whatever his name is. This couple has been making a lot of noise. Not necessarily for the good things or for the best reasons, rather.
Right.
And so what we want to do something a little different, right? Tons of videos are just either trying to expose them or, they're just super fans saying, hey, man, they're going to go all the way to get married, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And so what we want to do is something a little different. We're going to talk about some of the dynamics that almost anyone who pays close attention can notice in their relationship, and then kind of give our input on those things. So, Juju.
Yes.
I think we should first talk about what the main gripe everyone seems to have. Or, even if it's not a gripe, it's like a red flag, a major concern.
Yeah.
And that is timing.
Okay.
The timing. Yeah, she has a little girl that just turned 1 not too long ago.
Right.
And this guy has already been in the picture for months.
Yeah.
To my understanding, maybe even half the year,
Yeah.
So, or longer, depending on when they started off. So my point is,
Right.
the timing seems incredibly fast. And
Very.
why do you think a lot of people take issue with that, Juju?
Man. You touched on it. Kids, right? Freshly coming off of a divorce a marriage that ended after 9 or 10 years, right?
Right.
So you got that component, then you got the kids, right? As you mentioned, the youngest is just 1. Yeah, I think they actually got involved more the top of this year, like February, March, or April, somewhere around there.
And that's when they let the world know.
Exactly.
So you're not going to just put it out there and have a channel with someone you just went out with once.
Absolutely.
So we can even go back 3 to 6 months prior. Yeah, but you're right, though.
Yeah, so you got kids. The youngest is 1. So that means he probably was involved before she even turned 1.
Yeah.
And it's just as well as how fast they're moving, right? You're talking about like bestie tattoos. You're talking about I love yous. You're talking about the happiest I've ever been. And don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
I know, this quote unquote phase is like a honeymoon phase. I know a lot of people refer to that, what they're in. They even taking bets on like how long it's gonna last. But either way, it's just really, really super duper fast and hot and heavy. And it's like you just came out of a marriage for that long.
And like you said, they're making a lot of proclamations that normally don't come until much later in the normal setting.
Exactly.
You're talking about people who date for at least a year, maybe they're engaged, start to use the words and phrases that these guys are using.
Yeah.
The best ever, and like this is my soulmate. Though, you don't want to rush into that kind of thing. And I think the other issue people take is the fact that if you watched her video, she had a 2-part video explaining the demise of her previous relationship, which was her marriage.
Right.
And she spoke several times on how quick they got into a marriage.
That's right.
She talked about pressure, and we moved fast, and we did this, and so it looks very hypocritical. I guess this could even just be one of her patterns that she's not aware of. Like she's quick to try to fill a void without knowing exactly what the void is.
Right.
And so we got to talk about that, man.
Absolutely.
They've been married for how long? Is it close to almost 9 years? It's been a minute, right? They've been married for a while.
It's been a minute.
Because they've been on YouTube for a while, and most of their career on YouTube is marriage.
Yeah.
She was only doing YouTube a few years before she met Adam.
Right.
And then they got married. They started a family vlog. They were vlogging like left and right, traveling the world. So they have a lot together, including 3 children.
Yes.
And what's so crazy about the video that she put out
Yeah.
She really didn't have many substantial things to say negative about him.
Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of it was suspicious. Like she admitted, like she did, she slept outside the marriage. She cheated, basically.
Yeah, she cheated.
More than once.
More than once.
But when it came to him, I suspect that he did this. I suspect.
Because of text messages.
Right. So when you look at how she, even through her own admission, put him out, it just appears that a lot of what she did it because she just wasn't satisfied. She was also not willing to make adjustments to make things work out.
Yeah.
And she just gave up. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
I don't want to hound too much on that, but really transitioning out of that to what she is now is what we're focusing on. Right. And there really wasn't enough timing. It wasn't.
No.
And now I know some people may say, what is enough timing?
That's true.
2 months, 3 months. Like, what's your take on that? Like, in fact, I guess I should ask the question this way. What would you say is the minimal amount of time you should give yourself when you're getting out of a serious relationship before you try to entertain a new one?
Man, you gotta give yourself some breathing room, so to speak.
Yeah.
Of course, what you're coming from plays a huge part in terms of timing, but for example, with her, coming out of like a 9 to 10 year marriage.
Yeah.
And I know she did state that she checked out about like 4 years back, right? Like 2016 or something like that, right? She was saying that anyone who knows me, I guess she's referring to her family, that they know I've checked out since 2016 or 17 or something like that. So even though that's the case, okay, but you are still in a marriage, right? For that long. Right. So you coming out of it, like, I'll just put it like this. If you moved on into a whole new relationship like 6 months after, hot and heavy, as they are, Von and Latoya,
right?
I would just be like, what? If it's a year, I would be like, okay, wow. Like, so I feel like for her, she should have given herself like about, I would say like 2 years. Just finding herself, finding like, like answers to what went wrong. Obviously coming out of such a serious relationship, such as a marriage, you've become a different person, right? You've grown in different ways.
Right.
So just even discovering yourself, discovering your faults, right? Discovering that, okay, what faults your other partner, your significant other had, and, wanting to make sure not to make the same mistakes.
Right.
So again, it's like enough time to heal.
Yeah,
that's my take on that.
2 years is a long time, especially in this. But I actually agree.
Yeah.
However, I do got to state that some people may hear that.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, what? 2 years? That's a long time. You don't know what can happen, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Some people may be able to do a year, which I do believe, in my opinion, should be the absolute minimal time given to get yourself right. And I'm not saying just let the time pass.
Yeah.
It's what you're doing with it. But at least give that amount of time for you to explore new things, whether it's travel, taking on a new trade or career path. Because, when you're married, a lot of what you do is designed around the marriage. Right. You may have a business together like they did.
Right.
You may live in a certain neighborhood because of your families being close by. Yep. So if you're not married, you may say, hey, now I can move out the country. I can move to the opposite coast. Yeah. So giving yourself a year allows you to do quite a bit of things, including the most important therapy.
Yeah,
you're going to need to get some kind of healing, psychological, emotional, spiritual. You got to find out who you are, because we all change. No matter how grounded you may have been at age 20 or 25, once you're 30 or even 35, you're going to be a different person.
Yeah,
and the goal is to be a better person.
Exactly.
So if you have that mindset of, I knew who I was at 25 and I'm straight, and that's just stubbornness. You got to always evolve. Yeah. You always have to be growing and progressively. So I think, I agree with you that, at least a year and a half to 2 years. Yeah. It's what's needed. And I think that's the biggest reason why people look at this current situation
as it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, like it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And it's not going to end well. Like the roller coaster hasn't even been built completely.
What are they getting themselves into? Do you really, like, come on now, like you saying like, oh, like he's the best ever, and I've never felt this way before. Come on now, like try to recall, were you saying the same things about your other or those in your past?
That's a good point
right?
you bring up, because it seems as though a lot of what she says is like a low-key jab to Adam. You know
I
what
agree.
I'm saying? It's not like
I
a
agree.
sincere compliment to that guy, to Von.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's almost like if I'm with you and then I'm talking about you saying good things, but you can kind of tell I'm really jabbing to my ex.
Yeah.
Like, man, you can actually cook. At least you don't burn the greens. And this
exactly.
There's a way you could commend someone.
Yes.
That doesn't make the person feel special, because they're gonna be like, why are you complimenting me in this way? Like, oh, you actually let me do this. You let me do. You know what I mean? Like that reveals that there's still resentment within her heart.
Absolutely.
It reveals that there's baggage. There are underlying issues.
Absolutely.
That Von is clearly not capable of handling.
Yeah.
Not just him, but no guy shouldn't have to be in a situation like that.
Right.
So,
to handle all of that.
Yeah. That's overwhelming. So the timing is the first and foremost issue that I think anyone looking into that situation can see right off the bat.
I wonder if she ever got like therapy, like at all, like even in the marriage with Adam and her.
This is stupid. Should we do therapy on live?
That's a good question. Maybe they will,
Who knows?
Who knows? If you guys know, let us know in the comments below if they ever put that out there, because we used to follow them back in the day when they were a couple. For good reasons, man. Like they had good vibes. It was a couple Trini African. Like us. You know what I'm saying? So we felt connected. Like, man, we like that. And then we kind of shied away from it because we went on, living our lives, doing our things.
Right.
So when we came back, like not even a year ago. To be honest, this is all shocking and news to us. We went to the channel like, yo, what happened to the video? That was like our first introduction of the dysfunction that they were dealing with.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it just went crazy. So, guys, if you are Latoya, Levon, or is it Levon? Vonrhe? I don't know his name. But my point is, if you guys know them in any way, we would like to know your thoughts on what we just said regarding the timing and healing. Let us know what you think. You know what I'm saying? Also, let Juju know. If you know about therapy, whether or not they ever spoke about Latoya by herself, Latoya and Adam, maybe even Latoya and Von, who knows?
I don't think so, but
but let us know.
Yeah.
Now, the second issue that we want to touch on, right? Mm-hmm. This is a big one, especially since they have a video that came out not too long ago. Actually, a couple videos that really highlight what we're going to touch on.
All right.
Respect.
Ooh, yes.
Or should I say lack thereof. Respect, man. We got to touch on that.
That's it.
It's a lot. There's so many different angles. And this is specifically for Von and Latoya.
Okay.
Now, when Latoya was with Adam, right?
Right.
Their family show, you can tell Adam really, really held respect, family traditions to a high regard.
Absolutely.
You can tell that no matter how crazy and wacky Latoya may be, he never wanted to put her out there in a certain light. Based on the way they edited their videos, based on how they presented themselves.
Right.
And now that she's with Von, man, there's a lot of things that probably were always there, but it's just more evident now. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And then let's not even go into what she did on Housewives, Ooh. We didn't even see the reunion. I just saw some episodes of the regular season, and I'm looking at this like, yo, is this girl for real? Like, who is this?
My thoughts exact. Who is this?
So respect is out the window. It seems like they both are just enjoying themselves as though they're like teenage runaways or something like that.
Right.
They're not behaving like mature adults, responsible adults that have children.
No, they're not.
And so we're going to deep dive and talk about specifics so you know what I mean.
Right.
For example, in one of the most latest videos, right, at the time of this episode,
right,
the video was entitled Latoya said, or at least the thumbnail, "My assistant hates."
Oh yeah, that was just like the other day.
Or my assistants hate Von, right?
Yeah.
That's so bad because you brought out an important thought that I didn't even catch. You said the fact that it's labeled like that already goes to show how much Latoya makes excuses for Von. Because Von clearly in that video was like, yo, I didn't trust you. We both weren't feeling each other.
Yeah.
Yet the video thumbnail says my assistant.
I didn't think you were ready.
Yeah, hates Von or doesn't like. So
Right.
that's not cool, man. You're already
Yeah.
throwing other people under the bus. You're not. It's like this sense of not being accountable.
Yeah.
Is what we see with both of them. Now let's also talk a little bit more about that video.
Yeah.
Latoya says that she hired this girl as a nanny. / help or assistant, right?
Right.
For her kids.
For her kids,
Not the kids that she has with Von. She has no kids with Von.
She has no kids with
Those
Von.
are Latoya's kids. Why do you have this man coming in there pointing at her to do things? Telling her to watch this and clean that and get my car. Like, come on, man. And the thing that really got me at that, when we saw that video.
What's that?
She had the nerve to say maybe it's a man thing, the way that he talks to her. Let me say this, man. As a man.
Yeah.
There's so many ways you can kind of set boundaries with a female that's not your partner.
Right.
And still be respectful. One of the most obvious things you can do is just kind of create like a brotherly, sisterly dynamic.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, that's my little sis. I'm like big bro or cousins or friends.
Yeah.
You can make it clear, like, look, I have no interest in you, but we can still be good and respectful to each other. Being nasty is not that's no excuse. Like, I gotta be nasty to make sure that I don't somehow wind up dating you or sleeping with you.
What sense does that make?
No, that's garbage. So respect should always be given, no matter how little or how much money you make.
Yeah.
No matter how little or how big you are in any world.
Absolutely.
Respect is one of the most genuine things that we should give one another, especially as humans. It's what makes us really different from other creatures, right? We have the ability to reason and to show each other respect. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like that. I don't like that rationale that she's using in that video.
Man, and
there's so many other aspects. Like, what's on your mind when it comes to respect?
Again, going back to that latest video, the way that girl looks, I mean, we could already tell that she's a very kind of like laid back, reserved, passive type of, girl personality. But like she was just letting Latoya know, like, I don't think Von likes me. Right. And, I don't like him. Why? Because of how he talks to me. Like, go clean the kitchen. Just barking out orders.
Yeah, ordering her around.
Right? I know one crazy
of them guys. Hey, step to it. Clapping. Chop, chop. One of those guys. That's not cool. Bro.
One of the things that he said was, I want you to go pick up my car.
Wow. For what? Like, look, what is he doing? Yeah.
I just want to know, is he paying her as well as you, Latoya? Like, is he, or is it just like, or do you guys just look at it as, we have a channel together, so whatever money comes out of this channel, you're our assistant. Again, she's Latoya's nanny. Right. So her focus are the kids. Like anything that centers around the kids. Yes, even cleaning the home, right? Cleaning up after them, right? Cooking for them, right? And hey Latoya, this is what I cook. If you want some, here's some, right? So, and just going back to like with Von, it's like the way he, even like when in that video, the way that he spoke to her, like you said, like, I didn't trust you, why? First of all.
Yeah, what was the basis?
What's the basis?
I don't trust you.
And then he
also... You know what's crazy about him saying that now that we are talking about this?
Yeah, what's that?
And it's crazy because here's a guy that comes into a situation where a woman is fresh off a divorce.
Right.
And I don't know how nasty it is, but it wasn't peaceful.
Right.
There was a lot of backbiting, back and forth going on. So he comes into a situation with, like that, where that woman has multiple kids with the previous man.
Right.
Everyone knows he's like trying to promote himself. That's not even a subtle thing. He's putting his songs on their channel. More than one. He's already got like 2 or 3 songs on their channel. Yeah. He's showing off different things. So you are telling her help. I don't trust you. You came out of nowhere. Yeah. This girl that's helping Latoya, 9 out of 10, she knew who Latoya was when she was with Adam.
Yeah.
Whether she was a fan, a spectator, or she probably knew. But who knows you?
Who knows you?
You're the one new to the scene, this picture. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real, man. Like, it doesn't matter if you had 10,000 followers or anything.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. No one knew who Vonrhe was prior to Latoya. Let's be
come on now.
1,000%. And I'm not hating at all. It's not like we're some super big channel. But the point I'm making is there are literally thousands of channels out there with millions of subscribers.
Yeah.
And most of you guys never heard of them.
That's true.
Heard of those people.
That's true.
So in this particular circle, Vonrhe was irrelevant completely until Latoya and him hooked up. Yet he's like, "Oh, I don't trust you." So that it's kind of weird.
What's the basis? And two, I know he also said, like, you're mad young. So like I expected someone to be very like seasoned or like who knows what is what. Let's even say that's fact, right?
Wow.
I don't know how old the girl is.
Yeah.
But why would you treat someone who is now coming into that scene of, being a nanny, right? Everyone have a starting point, right? So this is a girl who, applied for that position with Latoya, right? And maybe it's her first actual experience doing this role, or second, or however long. Why would you treat someone like that? It still goes back to that respect, right? Like, why would you treat... Listen...
Yeah, and and everything and what's really bad about that video, it reveals so many things about their dynamic with each other.
Yeah,
Latoya is just so oblivious to the lack of respect that he has, particularly for women. I'm gonna keep it 100, man. We're gonna talk about that as far as the root causes of that. But like the way he's speaking about it, because look, everything that he kind of justifies, there's an alternate way to deal with it with respect. For example, instead of saying, "Yo, you're mad young. I expected you to be seasoned," blah blah blah.
Right.
This is another way he could have looked at it. You are young. You're not experienced. That's why I was so patient with you. That's why, I kind of let things slide. I didn't want to raise my voice because I knew you were young. I wanted to kind of show you the ropes, kind of bring you into our world, let you know how we flow. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
A respectful person may reason or would reason like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that we gave you so much leeway is because we knew that you weren't a pro at this. You don't have years of nannying or being a maid, etc.
Right.
Like there are people who genuinely are like that. And that's the problem. You see, when you deal with people who are not respectful and they're unapologetic about that lack of respect,
there was no apology.
They can normalize or make you feel like you're crazy. They can make you feel like you're overly sensitive because you require respect.
There was no apology. That's the crazy thing. If you guys have seen this video, that's the crazy thing. Like, it was literally like almost like putting the girl on blast and then like making excuses for the bad behavior. Right. There was no acknowledgement of like, wow, I didn't know I was making you feel like that. I didn't know I was making you feel uncomfortable. There was no apology, and like, why? Like, and this goes for both Vonrhe and Latoya, because with Latoya, she, like, I think you mentioned, she said like, "Oh, I think that's how men are." Right, Latoya, that's false. That's absolutely false. I was saying this to you, that there are celebrities, right, on much, much higher status that has an entourage, that has staff, and they basically feel like if their staff is being mistreated, disrespected, like they don't want to work with the people, right? Like they call those shots. So again, going back to that lack of respect and just not seeing the need to even like apologize to the girl on camera, because here you are, you're editing this video, or if you're not editing, you are approving this video, and that's what you're putting out like to the public.
Right.
Like, this is what we think of you. This is just what it is. And on top of that, we're going to label the video, "My assistant hates my boyfriend," or Vonrhe.
Right.
Come on now.
Yeah, there's and those are the things that, like I said, most people don't really touch on, but you can feel that energy.
Oh, yeah.
We're not nitpicking here at all. Trust me. And by the way, we are based in Atlanta.
Yes.
Let me put that out there.
Yes.
I've worked in the music industry.
Talk about it.
Entertainment industry.
Yeah.
You know, not to brag, but I've been a red carpet coordinator for some of the biggest shows out here in Atlanta. I might drop a picture or two, but to let you know and kind of, you know, co-sign what Juju said, there are people, like my first week, there were people who treated me like we went way back. They just had respect. They like, yo, this is my man. You know, they introduced me to the staff, and I've met Kevin Hart. I've met Jermaine Dupri. I've met, like, you know, people who I grew up watching. And this is my first week working the studios, right? And the people that I was working with, they were so respectful. They made it clear, like, yo, this is someone that I rock with. They never even referred to me like, this is my help. This is my subordinate. This is my underling. This is my, you know, and you got to pay attention to that. That's why I'm so big on respect, because I've dealt with people, like when I was a kid, you know, my first few jobs, I've dealt with people who worked at fast food restaurants or supermarkets. And you would have thought they were a king. You know, they demanded respect. They were so condescending, right?
Right.
All the way to the time I worked in the music industry. People who made millions of dollars, millions, sometimes every month, and they would just go out their way for you. So that's more of a personality thing, man.
It's not
a status thing. You know, if you're a nasty person
it
now,
will show.
When you get money, you'll probably be nasty.
Oh yeah,
because you'll feel justified, like, yo, you know, my attitude got me here, so I'm not changing it. So that's why we're kind of deep diving into this respect thing, man, and seeing the lack of it. It's not cool. And
what do you make of Latoya, like, asking her nanny on camera, like, what do you think of me as a boss? Well, as your boss, you know, tell me what, as you're, like, making that known. You remember that part?
That to me, that was corny, man. That's so corny. I got a lot of people that I work with, and, you know, one of my favorite terms that I like to use is partners. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm paying them and they're doing me a service, we're still partnering up, you know. It could be an exchange of money and time, or, you know, value, service, etc. But again, it has a lot to do with how you were raised and how you look at people and how your perspective, your perception, all of that matters, because it's going to come out. You may not know it, but if you want to be this big, high and mighty person, chances are, whether you have a lot or a little, you're going to talk like that. You're going to speak in ways that reveal your condescending, arrogant energy. And so, as your boss, tell me, you know, like, that doesn't even sound right.
What do you think of me?
No, seriously. Like, that's so not cool, man. And like I said, I've been privileged to have some really cool gigs. Like, I've worked with vice presidents, presidents. I've worked at headquarters of some major companies, right? Now, don't get me wrong. We've had some jerks.
Of course.
You know, the bellhop, the doorman, the security, like the people at the entry level positions sometimes are the nastiest. But then I've also had lunch with some incredibly important people that can do things in their companies that affect millions, and those people are super humble. So I this really, what that tells me again, your personality trait, your upbringing, those dynamics that shaped who you were before you got into positions of power or having money matter. With that said, let's move on to our last topic.
What's that?
Past trauma. We're going to talk about it because there's a lot of it between these two, man. You know, we're not just going to kind of pick at them and call them bad people, because again, we're not here to judge. We're not judgmental at all. And a lot of what we're saying applies to all of us. We got to look back into our past to explain where we are and know where we're going. So before we go into past trauma, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think about respect when it comes to dating, or even in general. You know, do you feel like, you know, it's something that they have in their relationship? Are we missing anything? Have they always been like that? Do you see the lack of respect we're talking about? Let us know below in the comments. But to try to deep dive and maybe not justify it, but at least understand where some of this lack of respect comes. Let's talk about their past, starting with the more recent guy that put it out there, Vonrhe. 2 videos, I think. Well, more so the video that we saw where he opened up about his mom. Wow.
That was heavy.
That was deep, man.
That was heavy,
So, Juju, just kind of summarize what he spoke about.
Yeah, so basically, he revealed, or Latoya was asking about his upbringing, saying that it's a very touching one, and we were like, okay.
Yeah.
And he goes on to reveal that basically he has like no relationship with his mom.
Right.
He doesn't even know who his father is. The person he thought was his father turned out not to be, and even that relationship is like distant or strained, right? It seems like the only person he was close to was his grandma, who raised them. He's been through foster care. It just goes on and on and on in terms of like what he's been through, but it's a lot, right?
Right. And one of the most revealing things he touched on, let's see, I'm trying to say this in a nice way. He basically said that his own mother was trying to get rid of him. Let's just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? You can watch the video. I think it's the one that what is it? The Truth About Vonrhe, something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that.
He said it basically. I don't even want to go into the graphic details, but it was him as an infant. And what's crazy
his uncle
his uncle. It sounds like that might have been his mother's brother.
Maybe,
because if it was his real father's brother, then he probably would know who his father is. But anyway, it's crazy because, or the man that his mother was saying was his dad, but it wasn't. Remember,
it was something.
It's someone. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my point is, there was a guy that came into a home.
Yeah.
According to Vonrhe, the mother just gave birth. Then she
just gave birth.
So we're not talking 3 months, 4 months, can't walk. We're talking newborn. Don't know nothing, can't see nothing, just crying. And he said he was placed into like a drawer. Some type of closet or something. Face down.
Yeah.
And then the mom went to the hospital, I guess, for, the state she was in.
Yeah.
The guy didn't know. That,
until he came back.
And
he was hearing like noises.
Yeah, and then Vonrhe was in the closet as a newborn. And so this was shared to him. This is, and this is the part, this is why we say we can't judge. Because if this is a true account.
Right.
Like, there's a saying that's like, what you don't know won't hurt you.
Yeah.
It is good to know the truth, but some things, when you know the very specific detail, you can't really unsee it and
unknow it.
And it's hard to forgive that kind of traumatic event.
Yeah.
And if that wasn't bad enough, like you said, he was in foster care.
Yeah.
He also admitted that he was abused. He was physically abused, verbally abused.
Punched in the face,
given a black eye, threatened all the time, screamed at. He even said that in that same video, he admitted that he never needed her for anything.
Yeah, I don't think I needed my mother for anything.
And then when he was 18, that's when he realized that. And then he never looked back.
Yeah.
In other words, he could never call her for anything. Kind words of encouragement, money, time, help, advice, etc.
Yeah.
That's deep, man.
Very deep.
So going back to what I was saying regarding how he talks to women, that is pretty much the root cause of it.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
What about his baby mothers or baby mamas?
Yeah, he has more than one.
Two.
Right?
I think two that he has mentioned.
One of them, from what I recall, he said he basically referred to her as a one-night stand. And I think he was even like, I was drunk. I wasn't in my right mind, blah, blah. So you're putting all of this information out.
So much.
And this is learned behavior, as you can see.
Obviously.
You know what I'm saying? Because that son of yours that you're trying to find, that you don't have a relationship with, he's going to see that. He's probably already seen it. So you're letting the world know, yo, this woman I have a child with, she was just somebody,
nothing.
Just get my rocks off on, that's all. I just had fun for the night.
Yeah.
That's crazy energy you're putting out. So now you're repeating the cycle of what you went through.
Yeah,
so
what
imagine
was done
that,
to you.
right? That young boy is going to be like, wow,
come on,
my dad is a guy that just slept with my mom. And he's out. He's doing him.
Yeah.
How is he gonna fear out? How's he gonna fear?
You're trying to put out the energy that I'm trying. I'm trying to search for you. I'm trying to have a relationship with you this young. And I think he even mentioned like, in my mind, I think I'm just gonna like wait until like he's old enough, like legal age, 18. And it's like I remember I said this. You said, what about court?
Right.
What about like there's court? There's family court.
Yeah.
Are you really trying that hard?
Right. There's ways to get in touch.
There are ways
to get closer, to change the
Yeah.
dynamics if you want
if
to.
this is real, right?
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's sad though. It really is.
Oh,
I guess that's why they say, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And the only way to stop that pattern again
Yes.
is with therapy.
Yeah.
You have to get some kind of therapy, whether it's professional,
Yeah.
traditional, spiritual,
Yeah.
through means of someone who can aid you through God's word or prayer. And you got to get some kind of specific, direct therapy.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a generic feel-good song or a video. No, you have specific issues. You got to deal with those issues specifically.
Yeah. And to add to that, even the baby mama that, he is distant from or with, she revealed that he basically put hands on the other baby mama. And she knows that as a fact, like as though she has receipts.
Right.
Like she said she's spoken to his sisters, right?
I think she said he put hands on the sister too.
Oh, and his sisters.
Yeah, he's just hitting every woman out there.
And I
Man.
honestly, like when she was talking, like she was, listen, she had do-rag and all on. She was just like coming from a place that seemed so sincere, like just.
Yeah. This is
I'm not
Von's baby
lying.
mother that Juju's talking about.
Yeah.
That made these statements.
Like, and there's a video out there on YouTube, right? Her
Right.
addressing Von.
Allegations, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And that's what she revealed, and that's what she's putting out there to let the people know, like, this is not the person that he's pretending to be.
Right.
And I will often wonder, like, I wonder Latoya probably just brushes that off, or like, believes what he says, like, nah, she lying, she just mad because blah 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 blah,
Right.
So,
right.
But anyway, going back to the whole, like, where does this stem from? Like, the way we're taking what you're presenting to us, right? The way that you're talking about the help, the nanny, the way that the manner that you're talking to her in or addressing her in, even Latoya, like, he has put Latoya out on Front Street so many times.
Right.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Right?
Man. He's
like calling her out, like,
yeah.
listen, like, you were married and you were in those streets, like repeating it like several times to make it clear if anyone didn't hear from all the way in the back,
Right. If you guys watch them
crazy.
and follow them, then you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.
Their dynamic it's very weird, you know what I mean? Because on one end, they give off this rock star lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're traveling, we're eating
Yeah.
good, we're partying hard, we're
Yeah.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
But then on the other end, you can catch glimpse of maybe what's really happening.
Yes.
And more so how
Absolutely.
he really feels.
Yeah.
Like what Juju was saying, like the whole, you was out there in them streets.
Yeah.
In your marriage. He made
were
a statement.
dating in your
Yeah,
marriage.
like,
Yeah.
you don't do that, man.
Come on.
Like, I mean, let's give an example, right? Cardi
Okay.
B. Everyone knows Cardi B has a past, right?
Uh-huh.
Primarily through her. She put it out there.
Right.
I used to do this, I used to do that, etc.
Right.
If there's one man that
Right.
should never hound on her past and talk about it,
Right.
it's Offset. It's her husband.
That's true.
He should be the one that actually still may get upset if you bring up her past.
Yeah.
Like, why you bring that up? That's her past.
Right.
So imagine if he's looking at her, joking around like, come on, girl, you know what you used to do.
Yeah.
You was on them poles, girl. What you talking about?
Yeah.
It's going to make you say, wow. You expect her enemies
To
you expect
put that
people
all
who
out.
are envious, jealous, don't like her, her haters. You expect them to say that,
Yeah.
not him. And that's why it felt so weird to hear
So
Von be
weird.
like, you was out in them streets in
Yeah.
your marriage. And,
Yeah.
he has little cutting remarks that he does from time to time
Very
like that.
much so.
You can catch glimpse of it. And then, we were
Like, you were
touching on...
chasing after me.
Oh, that too. Like, the whole, like, who hollered at who first.
Like, just let it be known.
Yeah, you came in my DMs and I was trying to be respectful, but you
Yeah.
pursued me. And I told you the other day that
Yeah.
when a guy does that,
Right.
he's really setting himself up for an escape. If anything goes wrong,
Yeah.
he can get out clean. He can be like,
Wow.
yo, you the one that came after me.
Yeah.
For anyone who kind of emphasizes that you pursued them,
Yeah.
and they do it in that way, they're usually setting themselves up, in the future. So when things don't work out, they could be like, yo, you the one that chased me. I was minding my business. I wasn't
Right.
chasing you.
Right.
So it may seem mutual when things are good,
Right.
but when they're not, you're gonna be reminded.
Yeah.
That they were just doing them and you came along. So it's
Yeah.
never good to have those kind of energies in a relationship.
Never.
Where, it doesn't become fully mutual and respectful. It's this kind of, I want more power than you, and
Yes.
you liked me more. I wasn't into you. You were sweating me. It's not good to do that.
Yeah, and he has made that very clear several times.
Yeah, he's definitely made that clear.
Yeah, a lot. And just to even, I know we were talking about Vonrhe in terms of what his past impacting him, but with Latoya now, right? Like how
she got a pass as well.
I mean, come on now, like people who have followed her and Adam and her, her family before Vonrhe, I mean, there's a really good record of like how she treats her quote unquote friends.
Well, to put it exactly how her ex Adam Ali put it,
right?
No one survives Latoya.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
And it's
it's true.
How could you?
If you watch her vlogs, that's why we were shocked. Because like I said, we used to watch her back in the day.
Right.
We're talking like 4 or 5 years ago, a minute ago, right? Her vlogs were like a family reunion / high school reunion.
Absolutely.
Everybody was over her crib. You had like comedians, friends she went to school with, business partners. So many people were constantly in her video. And now looking back, that's probably why it was very entertaining, because you weren't able to really focus in on her. You were able to see all these different people. And, you want to see people win, especially people that seem like they're doing positive things, like modeling, career in music. So what happened? They all just disappeared. One way or another, you started, especially the females, like she started cutting ties. And Latoya has made comments hinting that she felt like basically everyone was trying to use her. They were all trying to use her. No one was genuine. No one was ever really her friend. They wanted her for whatever she has. Like, I don't know how true that is, but
like, come on now. If you're like the common denominator, whatever that word is, if you're the common thing within all those relationships that have went, basically went south.
Yeah. That's why she went south to Georgia.
But man,
she went all the way south, literally. All right,
but basically, like the way she's treated her friends. But let's even take it further back. Her relationship with her parents, like have they been? Well, her parents. Period. Like I don't know. I don't think her mom and dad has ever been married. Even if they have, they were clearly divorced, right? And father moved on, married, have kids of his own. I know she has like, step brothers and sisters. The mom, I don't know, she pops up here and there. I know has assisted her, like during the whole separation and divorce, but now she doesn't even speak with the mom. Right. Clearly she has acknowledged that herself. Even though she tries to kind of brush it off lightly by saying, oh, like we fall out, but we're going to get back together. But it's like, okay, where is
what if something happens to your mom? It's like, it's a lot of bad dynamics. And this is what we mean about past trauma. Like the way you are with people before you get into a relationship, you're not just going to magically change. If you were a very stubborn person growing up, with your friends, your family, your coworkers, whoever or whatever you were doing, you're not going to get in a relationship and all of a sudden you're humble. You love people. You get along beautifully. It doesn't work like that. When you get in a relationship, whatever it is that you have, it's magnified, if you're a giver and you're in a relationship, you're probably going to be giving more. You're going to be wanting to give, especially to that person you genuinely care for. If you're not a giver, you get in a relationship, you're not going to see the value of giving because you really weren't that person. And that's kind of what we were talking about too with Latoya and Vonrhe. They may have things in common.
I believe so.
But it can be their weaknesses.
Yes,
you can have the wrong things in common. Sometimes I think we ignore that. We, for example, if you have a void and you're just looking for a way to fill it, and that could be through alcohol, drug abuse, it could be just sex. And then you find someone else with that same kind of void. You can mistake that for a connection. You could be like, yo, I get along with this person, man. They get me, they understand me. And in reality, you both are just suffering together. You're feeling each other's negative. areas. You're not building each other up.
That is so
You
true.
know, you're just bonding in the wrong way. Literally like two crackheads, you know? Like you
Right.
both should not be on crack, but because you both
Right.
are, you feel like, yo, we the only ones that understand each other. We're using
Yeah.
this drug that gets us high, and it's like, wow, you're gonna die together, but in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Not doing good, not being good. So,
Yeah.
you know,
But, you know, to even to expound on what you just touched on, like how they may have like similarities, you know, I definitely believe like they're both very much like self-absorbed in the sense of like, you know, like, okay, look at me, this is what I got. I know, look, there's nothing wrong with wanting fine things in life, right? Things that are nice, right? But like they lead with that heavily.
Right.
Like, you know, even like with the whole Miami trip where he's just like, look at me, you know, got the shades and got the this and that, and look, and it's like with her, same thing. And it's like, you know, to go back to your point of like, it's like it's so high schoolish type of energy.
Right.
And it's like, what are you guys like trying to hide with this facade? Because clearly, like, you know, like he's in his late 20s, she's mid-30s.
Right.
And it's like, you guys, like,
you're not young guys. I mean, young kids out of high school.
Like, let me
should,
just put it like this. If you were a teenager when you came onto YouTube and you still have that same energy as a 34, 35-year-old woman, there's something there. There's issues. And like, you know, that's not to say you're going to have like a 180 change to who you are, but it's like maturity shows, right? In time.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so again, it's like, what are you guys, you know, trying to like put on this type of like, oh, we're good, like we're happy, like, you know, like, oh, like you're the best, no, you're the best, and like, it's like, what are you trying to hide? And obviously it's voids, obviously it's past traumas, it's things that you're so hurriedly trying to like escape, but you're escaping in the wrong way, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just you know, it's not good to be like that. It's not good to and let's be clear, we're not saying that as you get older you should just become serious or conservative and just not be able to have fun. And you know, like what we're talking about is priority.
Yeah.
You know, substance. That's what we're talking about,
Yes.
really. Like family, you knowing what, you know, belongs in what place, what's most important in your life. You can have fun. You know, we're not saying become a cornball as you get older. Let's be clear. You know, we all like to have a good time. But when you're leading with that, like you're putting so much value on frivolous things, right?
Yes.
Surface level, superficial things hold so much weight.
Yeah.
That's what we're speaking on. It shouldn't be like that, man.
Yes.
You know, you should be really, and that's why, I mean, we're going to probably have a different episode when we talk about Adam and just how vastly different he is in terms of not just from Vonrhe, but even Latoya. He is so different.
So different.
You know, in terms of what he presents. We're not acting like we know these people per se, but just presentation. You got someone who's really putting it out there, quality, family, tradition, togetherness, respect. And then the other one is like, look, I'm gonna do me. Hey, you know, it's
I don't
whatever.
care what nobody say.
Right.
I don't live off of people's opinions.
Your energy is very important, man. So, you know, we're gonna kind of wrap it up on that note. Okay. We definitely would love to hear you guys' opinions.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, your statements. On anything that we said today. Please leave a comment below. Like the video if this is your first time, which it should be because this is our first video.
I know.
Subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
We're gonna have a lot more of episodes like this. And you know, thank you guys for watching. Juju, any parting words?
Nah, just therapy. Therapy.
Therapy, guys.
Heal.
We all need it from time to time.
Slow it down.
Yeah. It's a beneficial thing. Don't be embarrassed. Don't look at it as a negative thing for crazy people. For normal people that want to be better.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. It is your boy ATM Gamma.
And your girl, Juju.
Signing out. Until the next episode. Peace.